All right, first of all, is it a compliment when someone says you look like Kenny G's lesbian sister? Okay. How about when they say you're the love child of Howard Stern and Chelsea Clinton? Oh wait, I've also heard Tiny Tim and Carole King, Buster Keaton and Carol Kane, Diana Ross and Harpo Marx, Marty Feldman and Marcia Clark. Shaggy from Scooby-Doo and Joni from Happy Days. Apparently, I'm also the result of a four-way between Amy Irving, Amy Grant, Michael Bolton, and Robert Plant. And an orgy featuring the cast of Hair, the cast of Night of the Living Dead, every member of the Cowsills, and the entire state of Israel. And this girl came up to me and she said, you know, you've got a great look. It's so authentically 70s. And I said, well, thanks, but, you know, I'm just wearing a bathing suit. And she said, well, that's it. It's not what you're wearing. It's your complete and utter lack of muscle tone. And you know, she's absolutely right. I've got a 70s body, and you know, a lot of guys can't say this, but I'm so proud. I've got the same body I had when I was in junior high. A long neck going down to childbearing hips. But you know, I should tell you, I wasn't always proud of it. When I was in junior high, I used to get really embarrassed, like especially when we were in gym class and we had to take a shower, and I always chose the last shower pole in the back, and I was joined by two others actually, and I don't know why they were embarrassed. One was John Hufford, the kid that had nipples like pencil erasers. No, wait, no, they weren't like #2 pencils. They were like those giant novelty pencils you get at Disney World. And, and the other, I didn't understand either. The other was the first kid in junior high to have a full beard and mustache. Teresa de Blasio. Well, that's another thing. Why does everyone today have to have like body piercings and tattoos and goatees, like in order to look so cool? You know, it's even my grandmother got a body piercing. Well, all right, she fell and broke her ankle, and they had to put a metal screw in her leg. But it's the same thing. I mean, she's 85 years old. She's a perfect example of how we're so hung up on youth and beauty in our society. Now, she has really bad feet, but she refuses to use her walker because she swears that if she does, everyone's going to look at her and think she's really old and feeble. So I guess when she fell in the gutter, that was young and glamorous, you know? And my mother is like so hung up on like having the perfect tan. You know, she spends so much time out in the sun. At this point, she's like a different race, summer Jew. And then also, you know, she's 56 years old, but she feels she has to dress really young and funky. I'll never forget, I visited my parents a few years ago, and I walked into my mother's bedroom, and I saw her staying there wearing this full-length, skin-tight brown leather jumpsuit. And then I realized she was naked. And you know, I could never understand why she had zippers all over her body. When I was 18 years old, my mother walked into my room one day and she goes, Rich, would you like to tell me something? Sure, Ma, what? I walk in here and I see you standing there wearing a lovely gown. Is there something you'd like to tell your mother? And I said, yeah, today I'm graduating from high school. I always felt different from the other kids. For some reason, I don't know. I never really felt like I belonged at Helen Keller High. And you know, like all the other kids used to make fun of me. I'd walk down the hall and they'd say, what did I just say? But, you know, I didn't have it that bad. I really feel sorry for the kids of today because I feel like it's so repressive. It feels like we've gone back in time, especially when you look at the toy commercials. This really bugs me. Like, if you notice, the toys they advertise for boys are always cars, trucks, robots, machines, tools, guns, aggressive video games, and biker mice from Mars. So obviously, the message we're sending boys is make it, screw it, nail it, pump it, mount it, trick it, deceive it, play head games with it, conquer it, control it, destroy it, and kill it. Now, the toys they market for girls are always baby dolls, vanities, kitchen centers, flower making kits, jewelry kits, makeup, fantasy cruise ships, magic ponies, and kitties in my pocket. So, obviously the message to girls is make me, screw me, nail me, mount me, push me, pull me, trick me, deceive me, fantasize about me, make me pretty, draw ballpoint pen nipples on me, and put me in your pocket and tell me a secret because I'm small and worthless and pink. Now, in my mind, this is not fair to girls who want to conquer and destroy, and it's not fair to boys who want to be worthless and pink. That was me. But I was lucky. I was lucky to grow up in the 70s because I had this album that I listened to night and day. It was Marlo Thomas's Free to Be You and Me. Did everybody? Oh, wow. I remember. Wasn't that the best? I got the CD. It's great. I listened to it all the time. This record was so important. If those of you don't know it, it had all these stories and songs which taught kids that you should just be who you want to be and don't worry about sexual stereotypes. And I learned 3 very important lessons from this album. It's okay to cry. It's okay to play with dolls. And it's okay to cry when you get beaten up for playing with dolls. Seriously, my father is from the old country, Brighton Beach. And he was a real tough kid, a juvenile delinquent. He dropped out of school and he joined the Air Force. And I've always heard this story of how he was stationed in a land that was full of anti-Semitism, and how while he was in South Carolina, one day, all the other guys were going in and getting these really macho tattoos, you know, like death before dishonor. And my father walked in and said, "Put a Jewish star right here." And it is a lovely picture of Barbra Streisand. Now, but he's always been really disappointed with me, and you know, I know, when Roots was on in the 70s, my father sat there transfixed. He's like, "That's it, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write the story of our family, Richie, so you can be proud of your heritage." And he did. He wrote the Jewish version of Roots. He called it Schmutz. It told the story of Kunta Cohen and Chicken Salad George. How they were taken from their native island, Coney, and forced to sell ladies' blouses wholesale. Now, my family today is always having these really festive family get-togethers, and at the last funeral, my father pulled me aside and said, "Richie, make me proud of you when we go in there. Put it on." And I said, "All right, Dad, all right, calm down. Okay, no problem. I will wear the short hair wig." Now, Mr. Carter, I'm Jewish now. You know, this is not just a prop. I actually wore this to like family functions for my father. And the first time I did it, he was so excited. He's like, "Richie, at last you look like a mensch." And I said, "No, at last I look like Screech." But the one good thing about wearing this wig to the family functions was that my relatives used to slip me like extra money because they all thought I had a brain tumor.